Someone you helped is out telling people you are a bad person. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Someone you helped is out telling people that you are a bad person. For those who know exactly who they are, and for those who know how good of a person they've been to people, y'all drop in the comments and say, I know who I am. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I know who I am. The issue is, y'all, you walked away from them. The issue is, y'all, you stop having your hands open and allowing them to take from it. That's a big problem for them. And see, now anybody they meet, anybody who see you in a good light, anybody who like you, or anybody who has some type of respect for you, you know what they tell them? Man, nah, don't mess with him, man. He a bad person. Nah, man, he ain't really real. Nah, man, he don't stand on business, or he ain't standing on his principles. He ain't really no good person. She ain't really no good person. She ain't really kind. It's all fake. And the reason why they say that, y'all, is because you're no longer helping them. But guess what? If all it takes for me to say no, or if all it takes for me to step back, right, and now you're talking greasy and dirty about me, you already felt this way, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say, this being you. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, this being you. What people don't realize is betrayal is only a result of who a person been. This is who they've always been. It was always in Judas to be a traitor or a person who will stab you in the back. It was already in Cain's character, in his personality, to kill his brother and to be jealous-hearted. It was already in Joseph's family. It was already in him. Bruno, what are you saying right now? You don't have to pull anything out of a person. Their true colors are going to show regardless, okay? Their true colors are going to show regardless. So yes, someone you helped is out here telling people you are a bad person. I'm talking about that person you gave some money to. Yep, I know it hurts, but this is what they're saying. I'm talking about that person you actually gave that advice to in the middle of the night. You had things to do. You had to be to work. You had to get your kids up, whatever the case was. I'm talking about that person you always believed in. Yep, they out here telling people you are a bad person. Rena, why are they doing that? Because you're no longer helping them. You're no longer a benefit to them. I knew this person, y'all, where they love me so much. They love me so much because they felt as if they was able to benefit. Maybe they thought that they were benefiting, right? But the moment, in so many words, indirectly, I showed them that you're not going to use me. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow you to take from me. That ain't going to happen. I became the worst person in the world, y'all. I became the worst person in the world to this individual. But what it reveals is this is who they've been. It's always been in your face. It's always been around. But a lot of times, y'all, we ignore the red flags, right? But with that being said, y'all, we gonna go ahead and get directly into this video. Before we do so, as y'all can see, y'all, April 3rd, Thursday, family. Waterfalls are out. People are out. Dogs are out. Birds are chirping. Geese are working. Okay, and family, we just out here at the legendary park, y'all, having an amazing day, and I'm sending that same energy and vibes directly to the family. Okay, love, peace, happiness, and prosperity to y'all. All right, but with that being said, family, y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Let's get into it, chosen ones. First thing is first, number one, the reason why someone you helped, okay, whether it was family, close ones, close friends of the family, associates, relationship, marriage, whatever the case is, y'all, the reason why is because you finally said no, okay? You finally said no. See, a lot of times, y'all, the word yes is thrown around so loosely. People don't value yes anymore. There's a such thing as spoiling a person with your yes. And this causes them not to appreciate it, right? Y'all remember when we was in school and it could be elementary, right? I think they stopped recess around middle school, but in elementary, we always got recess. We always heard the word yes. Oh, we're gonna go outside, yes. But when we got to middle school, there was no more recess. And that kind of opened up your reality that this is not, what you call it, y'all? This is not mandatory. This is a privilege. Once you start realizing that a person's yes is a privilege, you will appreciate it more, right? When I got to middle school, y'all, I began to appreciate recess a whole lot more. Now, obviously, you are maturing more, right? You're starting to look at things differently. So it's not really a big deal as you begin to go to the 7th grade, 8th grade, right? But in the 6th grade, you're like, hey, where the recess at? They're like, nah, partner, no recess. Yeah, we gonna stay in and do some schoolwork. We might have basketball time or a pep rally or something, but for the most part, this your new reality. You begin to take that time, those times when you was going to recess in elementary a little bit more serious, and you begin to appreciate it more, y'all. But that's the same thing with this right here, y'all. People don't appreciate your yes until you finally say no. And see, when you finally say no, the first step is rejection. That's their first stage. They feel like they got the nerve to reject me. What you mean tell me no? What you mean you ain't gonna give me the money? What you mean? And so once you show them exactly what you mean and you sticking to it, because they gonna try you again, y'all. They gonna ask you. So if they ask you on Monday, they probably gonna ask you again on Wednesday. They give you a day to think about it, right? Yep. Once you break up with that person, they'll give you a day or maybe 2 days to let you get your mind right. And then they'll come back around and say, you really gonna let me go? And they hoping that you're gonna take them back because they're banking on the fact that you don't know your value, right? But once you finally give them that hard no, that real no, that no, you can't come back, that no, I'm not gonna give you no money, that no, I'm not going to allow you to use my car, that no, I'm not about to jump when you want me to jump. No, right? And so this right here causes them to go out here, y'all, and spread rumors about you. Yep. This causes them to go out here and just think about anything and everything negative you've ever said, done, mistakes, flaws, whatever, as if no one else have a flaw, as if no one else have done anything wrong or not necessarily the right way. You see how it flips, y'all? But as long as you're telling them yes, they're your best friend, right? I never forget, y'all, in school, we had this teacher, and they will always say yes, right? I think her name was Miss Stewart, Miss Hancock, but she will always say yes, you know? And as soon as she said, no, I can't do it, all the kids are now want to talk about it. That's why she got a gray beard. That's why she got mold on her, by her eye. You know how kids get, they can be cruel, right? But the point is, y'all, that lady been had that mold on her eye or by her eye. She been had some gray hairs. But just because she told you, no, you can't get no Jolly Rancher, no, you can't go to recess, no, you can't have this or that, now you want to start pointing out her flaws. That's what we do as people. That's what we do in the adult world. When we can't get what we want from somebody, y'all, we start pointing out their flaws. And then we start telling it to everybody else. But the key is not to tell it to somebody who already hate them. No, that's not going to do no good. Let's tell it to people who love them, right? Why y'all think that so many people try to tear down celebrities in front of their fans? Their fans is the way that they get paid, right? Their supporters are the way that they're able to sell t-shirts and sell tickets, right? We want to hit you in your pocket. We don't want to destroy you privately. We want to destroy you publicly. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Somebody drop in the comments and say, you can't destroy me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, you can't destroy me. Someone you helped, right? You helped them. But they're out here telling people that you are a bad person. And it's a sad reality, y'all, but it's really going down like that, right? Last thing I'm gonna say on this, family. Do you know how many people who was put on in the industry, whether it was the movie industry, whether it was the music industry, right? I don't see how you can say something bad about a person who put you on, right? How can you say something bad about a person who put you in position to raise your kids in a better environment, feed your family with more money, give them more opportunity? How can you say something wrong or bad, right? For example, Ice Cube has put a lot of people on, okay? Eddie Murphy put a lot of people on. Do y'all see them get the props that they deserve? No, because a lot of people feel as if once they get that position or once they enter in that position, I don't need you no more. I don't need you no more, right? And then if you're not careful, they'll start trying to, put some dirt on their name. They'll start trying to act as if they needed them the entire time. How can you say something bad about a person who changed your life? Even if they are wrong, acknowledge their wrongdoings, but I would never put a person down who helped me get up. That's just my mentality, and a lot of people are not real no more, right? But number two, y'all, moving on to this one. Listen, y'all, their emergency is not your urgency, okay? Their emergency is not your urgency. Y'all know what that means? It's self-explanatory. But just because they are in a rut, hardship, misfortune, midst of adversity, not because a crisis just happened, no, but because they put themselves there, overspent, not going to work, cheating on their wife, cheating on their husband, right? Not taking advantage of their opportunities that they've been getting, okay? Reno, what does that cause? I'll tell you exactly what it causes. It causes you to be in misfortune. And now you got to call somebody, the same person you were just talking about last week. You got to call them to help you and save them. See, this reminds me of a child who don't listen. I was just watching Narnia the other day, y'all. And those 4 kids who end up being like these kings or the leaders of the magical city Narnia, right? And I know somebody, what you doing watching Narnia? I have nieces, family. I got nieces and stuff like that. So I'll be watching, cartoons, or either I'll watch like a Disney movie with them. And sometimes, y'all, I like a Disney movie myself, right? But anyway, y'all, the point is that I was watching it and I seen the young boy Edmund, who ended up getting that fun, the half man and half donkey, killed. But long story short, Edmund was like the problem child. He just kept getting in trouble. In the beginning of the movie, he almost got people killed. Then, in the middle of the movie, I almost got them killed. In the end of the movie, I mean, he was just a problem child. And every time the older brother or the other siblings would have to save him, right? But that one point or that one time they were not able to save him, he ended up getting himself kidnapped for a longer time this time. Now, ultimately, y'all, he did get saved. But the point is that you can't keep saving people. Sometimes you got to allow them to go through it. Sometimes you got to allow them to see what their actions can cause. You got to allow them to go through it. Because if you don't, their emergency will become your urgency. And guess what? You cannot continuously move urgently for a person who's going to put themselves there again the next year or the next day or the next week. They never learned anything. I always said, y'all, you can't take your old self to your new destination that God has for you. You can't keep saving people. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. I can't save you. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I can't save you. This is why they out here telling people that you are a bad person, because you won't save them. He won't give me no more money. You keep blowing yours. She won't give me another chance. You keep cheating. They won't give me my job back. You won't show up. Understand what I'm saying, y'all. They feel as if their emergency is your urgency. Another thing this is too, y'all, this is entitlement at its finest. This is entitlement. Golly, it is. Some people are just entitled because when you keep helping them, they feel as if you're supposed to, right? So for instance, y'all, like, a lot of people probably don't know this, but you know, I have a list full of sisters, y'all. That's all I have. I got sisters. I don't have no brothers. I'm the only man, okay? And I know some of y'all will, you know, disagree with me on this, but this is just my opinion. When it comes to being a man, y'all, people expect you to do so much, right? People expect for you to be there every time. And the truth is, men get tired too. I'm speaking directly to the men right now. Men get tired too. But here's the thing. Their emergency is still your urgency. What happens when you can't breathe and you the man, but they still hitting you up? Hey, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Help me out with this, help me out with that. I'm entitled, I'm obligated. But you're tired. What do you do when you're trying to figure out what you need to do for yourself, but you still got to show up for sisters, moms, you still got to show up for this person, that person, nieces, nephews, you still got to show up. So as a man, when you're tired, people naturally don't care. I'm not saying that women don't have their times. There are some strong women out here and they're carrying the load. But naturally, women are not supposed to carry the load anyway. Naturally, it's supposed to be a man who's leading. That woman is supposed to be assisting that man in his role of leadership. That's just how they go, y'all. Read the Bible. I ain't make up the rules. But the point of what I'm saying is, y'all, is that when you stop making their emergency your urgency, people gonna have a problem with it, right? People gonna have a problem with it. And I've had these situations with siblings and family where I didn't make their emergency my urgency. What does it do for me but get me unappreciated? What does it do for me but get me taken for granted, right? Which is going to be one of my other points that I'm going to speak down below on, or speak within this video on. But I'll just go ahead and tell y'all, you got to demote yourself, right? You have to demote yourself. But like I said, y'all, I'll get more to depth on that one. But when you stop making your, making people's emergency your urgency, yeah, they're going to start telling people that you're a bad person. Really, you're not a bad person. You just didn't jump when they wanted you to jump, because you're realizing that it's not getting you appreciated. It's getting you used. It's just some honesty for you. Number 3, y'all, it's going to be this right here, family. You slipped out the trap, right? You slipped out the trap. I know y'all been seeing this. This right here has been going viral, right? But Anthony Edwards has a baby by Lil Baby's baby mother, right? And initially, he told her, I didn't want the baby. And he said, you know what? I'll pay you $100K. Just get rid of it. She concurred and agreed, but she wanted to be greedy, and she took the money and said, nah, I'm going to keep the baby. You know why? Because I'll be able to get more. I'll be able to have a monthly paycheck. Sounds smart to me, just being honest. But my man say, nah, I'm going to go ahead and pay you the $1 million up front, but I don't want no ties with the baby, nor you. I agree with what the brother did, because that was a trap that she was trying to set him in, and he slipped out of it, right? But the only thing I don't agree with is, if you lay down with a woman, I don't care if she's an oogly boogly bear, I don't care if she's Winnie the Pooh, I don't care if she's Barney, I don't care what she look like. That's your child, my brother. That's your child, right? Because that child will grow up fatherless, and you had everything to do with it, right? Now, as far as the trap she tried to put him in, hey, man, I'm glad that he was fortunate enough financially to pay his way out. Do y'all know how many brothers are going through baby mama drama? She getting a check out of him every week, every month, busting them, trying to get more, and then asking for money on the side, putting it all on the baby, but really it's for her nails and her hair. It gets wicked out here. It gets wicked. So I'm glad he was able to do that. The only thing I disagree with is abandoning that child and depriving her of having a relationship with him just because he don't want to deal with the mother. That's my only thing on that. Y'all know I got to keep it all the way funky. But the point is, y'all, he slipped out the trap. Outside of the relationship between him and his daughter, He slipped out the financial trap. She was trying to get my man. So it's going to be a lot of times where she's going around telling him that he's a bad person. It's going to be a lot of times where when you slip out of a trap, people are going to tell you that you're a bad person because they're no longer able to drain you and take from you. Simple as that, y'all. When you slip out that trap, y'all, they're going to be pissed. Somebody drop in the comments and say, you can't trap me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, you can't trap me. Number 4, y'all, it's going to be this right here, family. You are a good person, not a dumb person, okay? This right here is big, family. You are a good person, not a dumb one, right? Don't allow nobody to play you like a fool. Don't allow nobody to make you feel like you are a fool, okay? And the only way you should play the fool is if you are allowing the fool to think that they are fooling you. But if a person sees that you are a good person, you got to understand that in this world, when we see good, when we see nice, and good and nice are two different things, but when we see good or when we see nice or when we see calm, collected, or collective, we feel like that's our opportunity. Think about it. In the jungle, when a lion sees a hurt elephant or a hurt gazelle, a hurt warhog, he ain't going for the fat juice one over here. Yeah, it got all type of meat. It got all type of wild ham and bacon. It got all that. He says, no, I want the one that's hurt. I ain't trying to do no work. What you thought this was? I ain't trying to do no work. I'm trying to eat good and easy. What's the best type of meal, y'all? The one that's free. The best type of meal is the one that's free. So if I don't got to work for it, why am I going to work for it? I'm going to eat for free, right? But the point of what I'm saying, y'all, is that when it came to you being a good person, they thought that they can eat off of you for free. But you let them know that I'm not dumb. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. I'm not dumb. A lot of people try me all the time, right? Especially those who don't know who I am or know what I do for a living. I'm very mannerable, respectable, right? Even some people who book one-on-one sessions with me, or some of my supporters who really not supporters, they bank off the fact that I'm a good person. They can tell that Reno is empathetic. They can tell that Reno probably been through something. They can tell that Reno is going to listen to me. You can tell by my content. But once they try it and they see that I'm not going for it, they'll disappear. They may leave a nasty comment. They may, reach out and say, well, I don't need your services, or whatever the case is. And I'm like, cool, bye. I only want people who want me. I only want to serve people who want to be served. I only want to be around those who want to be around me. Whether that is watching my content, listening to me, coming to a speaking engagement, whatever the case is. But that very person, those very people will be the ones spreading rumors around here saying, Reno a bad person. He did this, he did that. When in actuality, you saw that I was a good person, but not a dumb person. You had your own agenda. You had your own agenda. And when it didn't work out for you, he's a bad person. That's not the case. But that's what happens a lot of times, y'all, okay? Number 5, family, it's going to be this right here, y'all. Going back to, you have to demote yourself, right? That's number 5. You demoted yourself, okay? That's what I was talking about, y'all. When you are the only man in a family, okay? And when I say the only man, not literally, but the only present man, there's so much stress that gets put on you, directly and indirectly. There's so much pressure that's going to be placed on you, directly and indirectly. That's why I mentioned earlier, y'all, that I'm the only boy out of all my siblings, right? There's 9. And what you don't realize is that in a case like that, you no longer play only a brother, you play a father. But you have to be careful in that. You have to balance it, because if you're not careful, you'll be playing the father role to people who don't even appreciate it. And they don't even realize what you're doing. And as you continue to keep giving and giving and giving, you won't even have enough to give to your own seed. Sometimes you got to save that for your own. Save that for your own business. You ever had that person who had a business, but it's like you wanted their business to thrive more than them? Yeah, y'all. Save that for your own business. Because they don't appreciate it. They don't want no business like you. They don't care. They're like, whatever, right? Save that for your own children. Y'all ever had them siblings who you play so much more to? Maybe you play a mother, you play a father, right? That niece, that nephew, you play like a father to them or a mother to them. But guess what? They don't appreciate it. Some do, most don't. But guess what? Save that for your own kids. Save it for your own. That person who go in on the job, I'm talking about, they stacking boxes on boxes. They Hercules in there. Save that for your own job, for your own business. Sometimes what you want for others, they don't even want for themselves. You have to demote yourself at sometimes. Yeah, y'all. You have to demote yourself. But when you demote yourself, they realize that the benefits go down. They realize that, man, I'm not seeing them as much. I'm not hearing from them as much. It's not the fact that you're cutting them off. It's that I got to cut down on the resources I'm giving. I got to cut down on the game I'm giving. I got to cut down on how much of me I'm giving because it's not being appreciated. So I got to demote myself. Instead of playing the father role, I'll just be a brother. Instead of being a mentor, I'll just be a regular friend. Instead of being your best friend, let me just be an associate. Sometimes you have to demote yourself, and it is okay. Because again, what you want for other people, they don't even want for themselves. So why are you busting your brain to give it to them? This is why I say, y'all, someone you helped is telling people you are a bad person. I had to demote myself, y'all, once I started realizing that people wasn't appreciating it. Oh, okay, this is what I'm getting. I understand it respectfully. Let me go ahead and demote myself, and I'm going to just sign up for the regular people line. I'm the type of person, y'all, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this because that's y'all. I go over and beyond, right? I go over and beyond. But oftentimes, your over and beyond can come off as you doing a little too much. But that's just really your heart. But everybody don't deserve your heart, okay? But with that being said, y'all, someone you helped is out telling people you are a bad person, okay? Listen, y'all already know how we do. As we conclude the video, y'all make sure y'all get one of these Yes Sir t-shirts, Yes Sir hoodies, book a one-on-one session with me. Once again, book that one-on-one session with me. And of course, y'all check out any one of my books, okay? I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.